Hello everyone. Today, we will be reviewing the archived entry log number 5. We will discuss the mistakes made and we will revisit the topic and the further research done after the removal of the video. The subject of this document being ASP1-1. This entry log review has a clearance level of 1. On December 25th, 2021, the Foundation uploaded a video reviewing what was referred to as the Bigfoot Massacre theory. This theory is in regards to the events leading up to the Patterson-Gimlin film, claiming that many Bigfoot were massacred in the area and the subject of the film was the last survivor. In this entry log, mistakes were made, and we are now here to acknowledge them and revisit the theory properly. The video will be linked in the description and in the end card at the end of the video. The first mistake that was made was how this theory was introduced. It was introduced as an inferior theory, which is a bias that should not occur when doing a serious scientific analysis. The points made on the addition to the theory by the anonymous online contributor still stand well on their own, and the work done looking into them was satisfactory. The points on redshifting were also well researched and do not require further changes. The review of behavior in this situation was also well put. However, more will be added to this point since further research has been done that will be discussed later. The points regarding remaining corpses is neither a mistake nor a strong point against the theory. While true that bodies will most likely remain and be difficult to cover up, the film was also not very well known for a while after it was filmed, and the environment of the area has changed over that time frame. The truth is, no one knows what would have happened to the bodies, but this point still stands in some degree. As for the analysis of M.K. Davis's credibility, it is very important to analyze one's credibility. However, it should not lead to any sort of aggression and should be based on good evidence. Opinion on a source of a theory should not change anything about the facts of that theory. When M.K. Davis's credibility was analyzed in this entry log, the evidence was either non-existent or was not researched properly to be considered backed up and was mainly based on speculation. It was also mentioned how his evidence was zooming in on a speck of dirt and calling it a dog print. There was no evidence to back up that this is merely a speck of dirt and not worthy of further scrutiny. However, the same could be said for claiming it as a dog print. One final note on the research done for this is that it all came from one source. A singular Reddit thread was the main bulk of information, which is a biased echo chamber to be getting information from. After that video, the research done was with broader sources, which will be linked in the description. Now to review said additional research. One point that was mentioned after the video was the herniated leg. It is clear after reviewing various analyses of the part of the film that the claim of a herniated leg is in fact true. However, this does not constitute proof for the theory. A herniated leg can come from more than just a massacre. It could come from a birth defect, strain that led to the herniated tendon or muscle, a gunshot wound from a separate encounter unrelated to the theory, an injury from some accident that occurred within the forest, or an injury that occurred through hunting or fighting another animal. As for the possibility of a Bigfoot massacre occurring in general, it seems unlikely. To begin, unless the claim here is that Bigfoot have less intelligence than average animals, they would not be found in this situation. If the attackers were anything like Patterson and Gimlin, they were on horseback. Even if they weren't, the fact that they could cause a massacre of this magnitude shows how much power they had. If they planned this out well and had a sufficient fear of these creatures, there would have been plenty of hunters there. If Bigfoot is like any other animal, especially intelligent ones, they would know to flee when outnumbered this greatly, with gunshots going off this frequently. Bigfoot are flight over fight creatures. That's why they're still cryptids. They feign aggression to avoid being aggressive. They understand what encounters with these humans would mean for them. That's why the best evidence we have for Bigfoot, this very film, is one fleeing. These creatures clearly have the tactic and skill to avoid being massacred, or else they would be long gone. That's a quote from Bob Gimlin, a respected and intelligent Bigfoot researcher. Not the Gimlin from this film, mind you. Either way, mistakes were made in this first video. With intensive research, those mistakes were corrected. However, if you believe any remain, tell me in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to listen and hear me out as I correct my mistakes. If you enjoy or want to see more, you can always like the video and let me know and subscribe for future uploads. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.